small things showed the cracks. Toby's attention slipped away. He smiled at messages from unknown numbers and hid his screen. Kemi noticed his distance and felt heat in her chest. The heat of a woman who once betrayed and now feared betrayal back. Meanwhile, a new woman appeared in Toby's life. She was clever and calm. She was not like Kemi or Amara. She spoke softly, listened well, and made Toby feel powerful again. But she hid her own plan. She knew how to use charm as a trap. Over weeks, she earned Toby's trust. She asked for small favors. She asked him to transfer money for a business. Toby sent cash to prove his strength. He did not see the pattern. He did not see that he too was being set up. One night, Kemi followed a secret lead and found a clear sign. Large transfers from Toby's account to a new name and messages that vanished too quickly. She realized with a cold fury that Toby was being taken for a ride. The man who had used her was now being used by another. Kemi's anger turned to obsession. She wanted one thing: control. She would not be cheated. She pulled all her old tricks back out. This time she would not share the victory. She began to collect everything she could against Toby. Screenshots, recorded calls, hidden photos, and secret bank slips. She planted tiny moles in places Toby thought safe. She learned passwords. She set traps. At first she kept it quiet. She watched Toby, studied his new lover, and stitched a plan to humiliate him the way he humiliated others. Revenge gave her a bitter comfort. She imagined exposing him to the world, the same way she had exposed Amara. Toby saw the changes in Kemi. He smelled danger. He grew colder and crueler. He believed no one now, and he trusted fewer people. Fear sharpened him. Where once he used people for money, now he used fear to control them. Kemi's moves did not go unnoticed. The new woman who had conned Toby saw Kemi as a threat. She whispered to Toby that Kemi was unstable, that she was trying to take everything. Toby listened. His anger toward Kemi burned hot. One wet night, under a weak streetlight, Toby confronted Kemi about a hidden transfer. Words became quick and sharp. Accusations flew. Kemi pulled out the proof she had collected. In the struggle that followed, a mix of shouting, pushing, and a fall near a low balcony. Kemi was hurt badly. No graphic detail, only the sudden silence that comes when a life is taken in a moment of rage. She collapsed. The street swallowed the sound. For a bit, the world seemed unreal. David had followed from a distance. He had told himself he would not get involved. But when he saw Kemi fall, something in him broke all restraint. He ran forward and saw what no one should ever see. Kemi on the ground, still, Toby standing over her, his face a mix of shock and something darker. David's heart hammered. He was a witness now. He did not scream. He did not run away. He did what mattered most. He looked for truth. He found the phone that had been used to threaten. He found a torn bank slip that still had numbers. And he used the little camera Kemi had stashed to record Toby's expression. He hid the evidence in places only he would think to look. A notebook, a secret email to a lawyer he trusted, a package in a locker across town. David loved justice more than fear. He risked his safety to gather proof that would not be easy to ignore. Toby, in panic, tried to stage the scene. He called a friend who owed favors and whispered a story that Kemi tripped and hurt herself, that it was an accident, that no one should look too closely. People who lived by fear helped quietly. They wiped a fingerprint here, removed an image there, but the world had changed since Amara. People watched. Phones were everywhere. David had already sent pieces of the truth to a journalist and to an honest police officer he barely knew. The pieces were small, but they were sharp. When the first police question arrived, Toby lied with the practiced ease of a man used to controlling stories. But the evidence David had saved, the hidden camera clips, the bank transfers, the recorded voice messages, could not be cleaned out. The journalist published an anonymous story that traced money and messages. Students shared a clip taken from a safe distance. The internet, hungry for truth, began to turn. Police came back with new orders. This time officers did not listen to whispers. They had warrants. Toby was taken that night, cuffed and confused, carried from the same streets where he once posed. His confident face lost its color. Kemi was taken to the hospital, but she did not wake up. The fall had broken more than bone. The hospital's machines went quiet. The life she had chosen, the life of schemes and sharp edges, ended in a bare room with a single lamp. News spread like wind. In court, the case was messy and raw. Friends turned on friends. The new woman who had scammed Toby was tracked down. She was not clean. She had her own loose ends. The lawyer David trusted presented everything he had saved. The evidence was heavy. Messages, transfer logs, camera footage from Kemi's hidden place, and a chain of accounts that showed how Toby and others moved money. The prosecutor painted a picture of a man who built lies and used people to hide them. The defense tried to call it coincidence, tried to say Kemi's death was an accident, but the weight of proof was too much. People woke to the truth in front of their screens. After long days, a final judgment came. The court found Toby guilty. Guilty of the frauds, of the manipulation, and of the violence that led to Kemi's death. The judge sentenced him to prison for many years. In the eyes of the law, his freedom ended. For Toby, that night in court was the end of one life and the start of another. All doors closed. Some will say he was declared dead in their eyes. The free, powerful man he used to be was gone. The story had killed that life. With Toby's arrest and the fraud network exposed, the records that had pinned crimes to Amara were re-examined. Screenshots were proven fake. Bank transfers were traced back to other accounts. The university lifted its suspension and cleared her name. Slowly, word spread. Amara was innocent. When the news reached her small room, she wept. Not all tears were happy. She had been destroyed and rebuilt in the same breath. The world that had mocked her did not apologize easily, but the law had found enough truth to clear her. David sat with her as she left the building where her name had been cleared. They walked under a tired sky. No celebration, only a fragile peace. Amara held a document that said she was free. Freedom felt heavy and new. Toby sat in his cell, his hands cold, thinking of everything he had built and lost. The other woman who scammed him was arrested too for her role in fraud. Some people paid with prison time. Some people paid with a name that would not be trusted again. Kemi's funeral was small and complicated. People who once cheered her now whispered apologies that sounded empty. Her mother cried. David felt guilt and grief at once. He had watched a death and helped end a terrible chapter, but the cost was heavy on his heart. Amara stepped forward into a world that had changed her. She was free in the eyes of the law, but scarred in ways no document could list. She did not smile for the cameras. Instead, she walked slowly, as if learning how to breathe after being underwater. In the last frame, Amara sits by a window with a small journal. She writes slowly, each word measured. She does not seek revenge. She seeks truth. She wants a life where trust is earned, where promises mean something. She looks up at the sky, and thinks of those she lost and those who lied. David stands at the door, tired but steady. He did what he could. The world is not fixed, but for a moment, justice found a path. Truth may be slow, but it remembers. Some shadows fall and some finally fade.